science of beauty, hair, nails, skin, teeth, everything. Mary Porter Green is here from the Curiosity Zone, and she's going to show us some fun ideas of how we can demonstrate this in a scientific way, right?
Well, you know what? So your house is full of beauty products, I'm sure, not just you. All women have, right? We just have a million things we put in ourselves, right? And we go to the store and we buy this stuff. We have no idea why it works. And then sometimes we even see segments where they tell you, hey, stick some avocado in your face, but you don't know why, right? Because nobody ever explains, like, this is why you're sticking this stuff on your skin. So we're doing a potions camp at Curiosity Zone this summer, and it's all about teaching kids what's in stuff and why it's in there and sort of how they can make their own stuff at home. And so this is sort of a demonstration of the stuff we might do in our camp, but also it explains a lot of the stuff you see on TV. It helps you understand what's going on. So the first thing,
beauty is there's a mathematical ratio to beauty. Is that right?
So the first thing is there's so much math in beauty, right? And it's fascinating to me that they could even study this stuff, right? But they have studied and studied and studied this stuff. And apparently for men, the ideal ratio of your waist to your hips is 70%. So you want your waist to be 70% of your hip size, right? The next really fascinating thing is this thing called math called the golden mean, and for you math geeks out there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to try to explain it, but it's been around for thousands of years, and it's this equation that always ends up being 1.618. It always comes out to 1.618, and it turns out there's all these things in beauty that come out to be that. So apparently the most beautiful faces, the mouth is 1.618 times wider than the nose, and then the widest point of the nose is 1.68 times wider than the narrow tip, and the width apparently of a supermodel's teeth are 1.618 times the height of their teeth.
Who knew?
Isn't that weird? And then the other weird thing that they've studied and quantified is that apparently we're attracted to people that look just like us. Now, how narcissistic is that?
Wow, that's weird.
But it's kind of true. Like,
well, you know, we're babies. We're gazing into our mother's face. That's a beautiful thing, right?
Look like you?
No, we look different.
My husband looks a lot like me. His sister is tall, gorgeous blonde. I look like him. It's very funny.
What about the symmetry? What about square faces and, you know, symmetry and all that?
It is all about symmetry. Mathematically, the more symmetrical your face, and so a fun thing to do with your kids is to sit and do this and cover up your face and see. You always think your face is perfectly symmetrical, and it's not. Yeah. In fact, sometimes you'll find really interesting, you know, like one side of your face is like kinder or more stern,
or you have a better side. Well, they always say people have better sides, right? So you put that one in front of the camera.
Okay, so let's get into the chemistry and the biology of all this beauty stuff. Okay.
What do we got over
So
here?
the first thing is we're going to talk about hair. Do you know what your hair is?
Protein, right?
Right. It's a protein called keratin, and it's actually your hair, your nails, your skin, all this protein called keratin. And then our body releases oils that protects all of that stuff, right? So we're going to talk about all that stuff. But the first thing is your hair. So sometimes your hair gets kind of frizzy and tangled and out of, you know, kind of wacky, right? And so they make these things called detanglers. Do you know how they work?
Smooths the shaft, right?
Very good. So, well, there's two things. I found this fascinating. There's two ways to smooth your shaft. One is to put something on it, right? And you can you can dilute conditioner for dry hair and spray that on, or you can use a dryer sheet and just wipe it on your hair.
A dryer sheet?
Yes, and that whatever that substance is, that is, I guess it's a fabric softener, will go in your hair and will just and get all your loose ends kind of like flat. But the other thing is that if you add a little bit of acid to your hair follicle, it will smooth it because it plumps it up. Or your hair shaft. I'm going to say this wrong, but the surface of your hair. So if you take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and I know you're going to think, like, I don't want my hair to smell like vinegar, so this is only like if you're in an emergency. But you can take like a tablespoon of vinegar and add it to about 10 ounces of water, so it's the better part of a water bottle, and you spray that on your hair while it's wet. It will acidify the hair and it plumps it up and flattens it. So if you're running out, that's what you can do.
Would that work on a frizzy day in the summer where they get a lot of humidity outside?
I don't know.
We're going to have to try that.
But that's the beauty of the science, right? Go home and try it. See what happens and see how, because it's apple cider, I think it doesn't smell terribly bad. So I was just fascinated by the fact that you could acidify your hair and make it a different texture.
Very cool.
That's
plus you're diluting it with all that water, so.
So the other thing is this thing you always hear about, baby powder in your hair and getting rid of the, you know, if you can't wash your hair on a certain day. And I tried this yesterday because I hadn't washed my hair, and it works beautifully because it turns out this is actually cornstarch powder. A lot of baby powder is talcum powder, but this is cornstarch. Doesn't matter, either one will absorb the oil in your hair, and that's why you put it in there. And it's actually sort of interesting to show kids how some substances will absorb oil and some will not. So you can try this in a petri dish. Here, what I did was smear a bunch of oil here, and you can just do this on a plate. and add some talcum powder and show your kids how well it will soak it right up. It's really cool. All right, so this is why you put this stuff in your hair. It just soaks it right up.
Oh, it really does stick, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See?
Oh, it's come off. How about that?
But what you don't want to do is like dump it. See, if you dump it like right on like this, then you end up with like this crazy white streak.
Oh.
Am I getting it on my hair?
You are.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to get out. So what I did is put it in your hands like this and run it through your hair.
Okay.
And it works great.
And it might be cheaper than those dry shampoos they sell.
Oh gosh, of course.
Yeah, and that would work.
Absolutely. Or it might just be your, an emergency and that's all you have.
All right, we got some facial stuff over here.
We do. So why do you put avocado on your face? They're always telling you to do it. Why?
Well, I understand it's a good fat, right?
Right. Well, it's actually, I was fascinated to find out. I'm going to smear some on me. Ready? It actually feels really good. The reason you put this on your face is because avocado oil is the closest thing to your own skin oil that exists in nature.
Wow.
So if you're trying to just replenish your natural oils, just smear this on your face and let it sit for a good long while. You will be a happy camper. Now, why do you put cucumbers on your eyes?
It shrinks the puffiness, right?
Very good. So that does two things. Two things scientifically. One, it's a coolant, and really anything cool, like a cool compress, will work. Make sure blood vessels constrict, which reduces the fluid. You go like this. But the other thing is cucumbers have antioxidants. And we've heard all about antioxidants, right? It has topical antioxidants, and your cells will soak it in, and that will reduce the irritation in your eyes. And I won't go in. I was going to go into this whole thing about free radicals because it's utterly fascinating. If anybody has time to Google it at home, learn about it because it's cool. Okay. So why do we see so much about putting honey in your face?
This I don't know.
It's the same idea. It has unbelievable properties. One of the main ones is that it's an antioxidant, but it also will moisturize your skin. And so one really great facial scrub that we could do is you take aspirin, okay? And do you know why you use aspirin?
No idea.
Because it's a derivative of salicylic acid, and it will sort of help your dry skin cells. I have avocado all over my hand.
You should see your face.
I look fabulous. But it will release the bond with the dry skin cells, and it will help you slough them off. And by the way, do you know how many skin cells you lose every hour?
1 billion.
It's like 30 to 40,000, which is hard to get your head around, but it's actually 8 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
8 pounds of skin
oh my goodness.
a year. And guess who's eating all that?
No idea.
Little dust mites in your house.
Oh, please don't tell me that. I'm going to get gross. Mary Porter Green from the Curiosity Zone. We could go on and on, but just know that there are some products around your house that you can use, and they can provide your beauty routine.
Oh gosh, absolutely. This is all on our website too.
Come back and show us the other ones next time.
We'll be right back.